Hi, I'm Cameron Lemanuzzi, and I'm giving a presentation on the game of American football. What is football? It's a sport that is popular in the United States of America. However, it is played in over 40 countries across the world. It is a contact sport, which that means in the game, within the rules, players on opposing teams make contact with each other. That could be anything like baseball, tagging someone out, or all the way to football, to having to, make real contact, physical contact with someone. Each team has 11 players on the field at a time, 11 on offense, 11 on defense, or on the kicking team and the receiving team. Um, and the offense gets 4 guaranteed downs um, when they get the ball. In order to get a new set of downs, you must go 10 yards, and then you get a first down, and you have 4 more after that. Teams score by getting touchdowns, field goals, or safeties. Touchdowns are 6 points, and that is how you get the ball across the goal line. Field goals are 3 points, and that's kicking the ball through the uprights, which are yellow crossbars at the end of each field. After a touchdown, the team who scores gets a PAT, or a point after touchdown. You can kick the extra point or go for 2. A kick is 1 point. A 2-point conversion is when you try and score again, like another touchdown from the 2-yard line. Here are videos explaining the gameplay. I will show a few. It's better load.
Each time a team gets the ball, they have 4 plays or downs to move the ball 10 yards. If they gain the yardage, they get a first down and another 4 plays. If they don't make 10 yards, they turn the ball over to the other team. Better luck next time.
And here's a video explaining touchdowns.
I have a never-ending need for diverse, high-resolution cutout characters for my own visualizations. So,
Touchdown! Football's biggest play, a touchdown, is when a player possesses the ball in the opponent's end zone. Once any part of the ball crosses the goal line, it is a touchdown. Put 6 points on the board and celebrate. Just like the NFL's all-time touchdown king, Jerry Rice.
And for the sake of time, that's all we're going to be going over today in the videos. And there's a list of penalties. There's encroachment, which is when a defensive player comes across the line of scrimmage and makes contact with the offensive player before the ball is snapped. False start is when the offensive player moves before the ball is snapped. There's offside when the defensive player is across the line of scrimmage before the ball is snapped. Holding, which is when an offensive player who is supposed to be blocking holds the player for too long and keeps the defensive player from making a fair play on the ball. Holding on defense is when the player holds an offensive player other than the ball carrier. Pass interference could be offense or defensive. It's when someone limits their opponent to make a play on the ball before the ball has made contact with the receiver. Helmet to helmet collision is when someone targets another player with their helmet onto their helmet. Horse collar tackle is when you grab on the back of their neck and yank them down. A face mask is when you pull somebody by their face mask. Roughing the kicker is when you hit the kicker after the ball is kicked. Roughing the passer is when you hit the passer excessively long after they've thrown the ball. Personal foul is an illegal flagrant foul considered risky to the health of another player, and delay of game is action which delays the game. For example, if the offense allows the play clock to run out. And there's more, but for the sake of time, again, we're only going to go over those. The different levels of competitive football are high school football, college football, and professional football. High school football is the lowest level of competitive football, and high schools have their varsity, junior varsity, and freshman teams. Varsity is the highest level of high school ball. Smaller schools and larger schools are separated by divisions, and divisions range from D1 to D6, Division 1 to Division 6. College football has many more divisions and leagues. Junior college football, like the one we have here at Fresno City College, is a two-year college football division, and it is usually used as a stepping stone for high school players who weren't ready to play the 4-year level, didn't have the grades, injuries, just overlooked. It's a way to get to any of these other schools without having to walk on or go to a school they don't want to. NAIA is a small school with scholarships league. It is mostly private schools, private Christians or Catholic schools. Examples would be McPherson College or Tabor College. Division 3 is small schools without scholarships, mostly private schools as well. Linfield College is an example. Redlands, they're both in Linfield in Oregon and Redlands in Los Angeles area. They're both Division 3 programs. NCAA Division 2 is small schools but larger than NAIA in Division 3, and they have scholarships. Examples would be Azusa Pacific or Midwestern State in Texas. That's the level of play ranges from here. The really bad teams could be worse than these teams in the NAIA Division 3, and the really good teams can compete with FCS and even FBS teams. Division 1 FCS schools are medium-sized schools with scholarships such as Sac State, Cal Poly, UC Davis. Many of these players could be Division 1 FBS players, but sometimes they lack something in size, speed, academics, any of those things. It's a very high level of football at most schools. And then Division 1 FBS is the stuff you see on TV a lot. It's the mid-major to large schools ranging from Fresno State to USC to Alabama, all the way back to San Jose State or San Diego State, schools like that. And there's 5 conferences. There's 5 Power 5 conferences, which are the larger schools, and then 5 which we call the Group of 5 conferences, which are the smaller schools. So Fresno State would be in the Mountain West, which is a Group of 5 conference, and Alabama would be in the SEC, which is a Power 5 conference. Professional football is the next level of football, and the final level. There's the Canadian League, which is the second highest level of football in the world. It is the average salary of a Canadian football player is $96,857. Examples of those teams would be the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders. They play more in the summertime of year because of the cold weather in the Canadian League, and they play for the Grey Cup. The National Football League is the highest level of football in the world. The average salary is $860,000 a year. Many players make much more than that. Some people make up to $40 million a year. So the San Diego Chargers, the New England Patriots, the San Francisco 49ers are all examples of teams at that level. They compete in 2 different divisions, the AFC and the NFC, or conferences, and they have divisions within those. The winners of the division go to the playoffs to fight for the Super Bowl. In conclusion, football has 3 different levels of football. Each level is separated by different divisions and leagues, and it is mostly played in the United States. However, other countries are beginning to play it, like Germany, London, or England, Mexico, and others. The end.